Guys, please respond. Other day I was talking about spring bean scopes. Everyone remember that? Class content, spring 616, core, spring bean scopes, November 10th. I think today's date is 10th, 2020. Spring bean scopes in 5-point XR. Singleton, prototype, request, session, application, okay, WebSocket. Okay, WebSocket. Singleton, prototype, request, session, application, WebSocket, guys. These are the scope. If no scope is specified, what is the default scope, guys? What is the default scope? Singleton. Okay, guys. How to specify scope in XML file? Using scope attribute. Scope attribute. How to specify scope in annotation? Using @scope annotation. Using @scope annotation. Understanding my statement, boss? Using @scope annotation. Scope is equal to prototype or @scope. @scope prototype. This scope is suitable in standalone environment, and also in web application environment. The scope is suitable in standalone environment, also in web application environment. Also in web application environment. Super, guys. Okay, guys. IOC container creates separate Spring Bean class object for every factory.getBean method call. And does not keep Spring bean class object reference in the internal cache of IOC container. In the internal cache of IOC container. In the internal cache of IOC container. Okay. Super guys. In the internal cache of IOC containers. Yeah. In the internal cache of IOC container. Array, no reusability, boss. Every time fresh object will be given, right, boss? Only singleton scope, spring beans, participates in pre-instantiation, not the other scope beans, not the other scope spring beans, not the other scope spring beans. Understanding my statement? Okay. Yeah, though you give same bean ID, then also it will create a new object for every get bean. Right. Not for the other scope. Not for the other scope spring beans. Okay. Not for the other scope spring beans. Let's have a look, guys. Application context.xml. Okay. Forget about this, boss. I configured only for one time. Here is my prototype scope. Scope is equal to prototype. Client application, my dear. Client application. Let's comment remaining entire part. We'll come to that later. Yeah. How many times get bean method is called having same bean ID? 2 times. How many times we call 2? What is the scope I have taken? What is the scope I have taken? Prototype scope I have taken, right? When you call the method, what happens, guys? 411, 202, 207. DT1, DT2 not pointing to same object reference. DT1, DT2 not pointing to same object reference. Did you realize that? Did you realize that different hash codes are coming, right? And double equal to also saying that false. I was not, it's saying that I am not referring to same object. I am referring to 2 different objects. And moreover, it is not keeping objects in what? Internal cache of IOC container. So since it is not keeping, so no question of reusability of the objects. No question of the reusability of the objects. Understanding my statement? Okay. Someone asked, so do I give same bean ID? It won't repeat, no, sir. It won't repeat, right? Okay. Wait for the printer, na? Wait, fellow, waste fellow. I will give time, na? I'll come to that point. First, focus on the current concept. Copy this. Bold guys in client application. In client application. In client application, guys. Create IOC containers. Create IOC container. Can we see the flow of execution, guys? Let's concentrate on the flow of execution. Here I created IOC container. Yeah. IOC container. Super. I'll give output screenshot 899. Loading of XML file loading and verification. Loading and verification. Okay. XML file loading and IOC container creation. Verification and also in-memory metadata creation. In-memory metadata creation. Okay, guys. Next, C. Searches for component to scanning. Not found. Okay. Not found. What could not found? Searches for component scanning could not found. Okay, guys. Searches for singleton scope spring beans for pre-instantiation. For pre-instantiation. For pre-instantiation, but not found. But could not found. But could not found. Super, guys. Searches for component, but could not found. Searches for singleton scope spring beans for pre-instantiation, but could not found. But could not. Everyone getting my point, guys? But could not found. That's it. But could not found. When objects are not created, what it will keep in the internal cache, right? It won't keep anything in the internal cache. Understanding my statement? So the internal cache will remain empty or not. Internal cache of IOC will be there. Array, it's a default one, will be there. Empty cache will be there. Internal cache of IOC container will be there. It is always will be there. Okay, guys. Searches for singleton scope spring beans for pre-instantiation but could not find. Okay, boss. Right now, no singleton scope objects are there. That's why no bean objects will be kept in the internal cache. No bean objects will be kept in the internal cache. That is the D. Here is what, guys? E. Okay, guys. E. E. Now listen carefully. It will search in. Array, it don't know the scope, na? That's why it will search in IOC containers. F question mark. There are no. There are no. Then, is there any spring bean whose bean ID is LDT? Yes. G. Tell me. Loads the class and creates the object. Loads the class and creates the object. Loads the class and creates the object. Come on, guys. Local date time class object. Object reference. Local date time class object reference. Yeah, what is this, guys? LDT. Local date time class object reference. LDT. LDT. Array, this is loading boss. GH. 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 Super, guys. Does it keep the object in internal cache, guys? Does it keep the object in internal cache because of scope prototype? No. Just loads the class and creates the object and does not keep the objects in internal cache. Okay. Okay. Does not keep the objects in internal cache. So happily it returns over here. Where is that, guys? Next. Here is F now. F. J. Calls the one more time this method. K. K question mark. Available. Only singleton scope objects will be kept in internal cache. Available or not available. So it will go to Spring Bean configuration file metadata and searches. Is there any Spring Bean whose bean ID is what? LDT. There are not there are. Yes, there. L. Loads the class and creates the object by calling factory method. Right, boss? Loads the class and creates the object, boss. Okay. Local date time class object. Array LDT. LDT. Every time new object now, boss. Every time new object. Understanding my statement? Okay. So this is going to be, where is that, guys? J, K, L, M. Does it keeps these objects in internal cache? No. Does it keep these objects in internal cache? No. Okay, guys. Yeah. What is there here? Yeah. So what is this? Gives different hash codes. Gives different hash codes. Okay. Gives different hash codes. Gives false. Gives false. Okay. Only singleton scope spring beans will be placed in the internal cache of IOC content. Internal cache of IOC content. In the internal cache of IOC content. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? IOC container won't maintain any object for reusability, boss. Every object will be created on demand freshly. Every object for Spring Bean class will be created on demand freshly, boss. Got it, guys. Understood my statement, my dear? Okay. Right. This is case 1. Case 2 in our style, boss. Case 2. Can you give proof? Internal cache holding other scope objects are not. Array, already new objects. Already, Mr. Tanmay Das, use your common sense. Use your common sense. If you use your common sense, we are getting different hash codes, false. That means what? Every time new object is created. New object is created means what? Old objects are not kept, na boss. That means old objects are not kept, right? Okay, Hazrat Kadam, I already said only for singleton scopes pre-instantiation takes place. For other scopes, no pre-instantiation takes place. Right. Is it not proving it is not keeping Spring Bean objects in internal cache? Is it not proving, Mr. Tanmay Das? I cannot get into the memory, Ra Babu. It's all about visualization. Are you not able to visualize this based on these hash codes? I want reply, Ra Tanmay Das. When you ask the question, keep the habit of responding, Ra waste fellow. Okay, boss. Output here. Output here. Here is the output. Suparna boss. So let's get into this discussion. Wish message generator boss. Here scope is what? Prototype. Scope is prototype. Okay. Injection test. How many times I am calling, guys? 2 times. Run this application, guys. 088036. Generator 1 double equal to generator 2 false. Okay. To give the feeling, 2 objects are created. To give the feeling, two objects are created. Sys wish message generator colon zero param constructor. Zero param constructor. Injection test. Okay. Yeah, how many times the constructor is executed? 2 times. How many? Two different hash codes are coming. Okay. It is returning false now, boss. It returning false or not? I am just giving one example in annotation, one example in this thing. Okay. Copy this, my dear. Hazrat Wali, I will explain every point. Can you control your discussions? Can you control your emotions? Okay. I request everyone. What are the points I covered for singleton? Same angle I covered all the angles for this. Okay. You know that they will come in the flow. If you excite and ask, I'm helpless. Really, I'm telling. Okay. At the rate scope price. At the rate scope. Yeah. Here is client application, boss. And when it comes to client application, what will be there? Only component scanning will be there, na? In application context.xml for user defined. I'm not keeping any dependency, Raghav. Application context.xml. Okay. Only component. Because for user defined, only component scanning is enough, right? Okay. Component scan. In client application. In client application, boss. Yeah. Here is the code. Here is the code. Here is the code. Use two different hash codes. Use two different hash codes. What is this? Use false. Use false. This is my client application. This is my application context.x. Yeah, this is my wish message generator dot. Yeah, empty IOC container, guys. Empty IOC container. Here is my empty IOC container. How many objects will be created for wish message generator, boss? Two objects. Two objects. How many times it is called? 2 times, right? Okay. Yeah. Here is my wish message generator object. Next, wish message generator object. Wish message generator object. Super, guys. Right, boss. Two different objects are created or not? Super, boss. What happens if we configure real singleton, real singleton Java class? What happens if we configure real singleton Java class with prototype scope? With prototype scope. With prototype scope. Are you understanding my statement, guys? For every factory dot get bean method, separate Spring Bean class object will be created. Hey, two hash codes are same. Rutraj, I will tell where to use. Where to use, I will tell. Okay. Gives false two different hash codes. Arey, you are this much dumb, Rutraj. Ashok Yadav, you are this much blind, boss. Please go to Doctor once 088036. Are you feeling same numbers? Ashok Yadav, why don't you go to Doctor once? Wasting my time and your time. Yeah, this is the output. This after seeing this much also, it's saying both are same. Same hash code will be generated. Okay. Right. Don't look at the second output. Look at the wish message generator output. What happens if we configure real singleton Java class with prototype scope? With prototype scope. Come on, tell me what happened. Does the singleton scope will be continued or will not be continued? Does the singleton scope will be continued or will not be continued? Okay. Here is my this is the story. This is my prototype scope. Prototype scope. Nice, boss. Very simple. If you don't enable factory method bean instantiation, the prototype scope singleton Java class will be broken, right? Yes or no? No. If you enable factory method bean instantiation, that will be continued. That will be continued. Though you configure that only for one time. Though you configure that only for one time. Okay. Now, here I configure only for one time, Raghava. Here I configure only for one time. Yeah. P1 printer dot class and all this stuff. Injection test dot Java. 595157. 595157. P1 double equal to P2 false. P1 double equal to P2 false. Getting my point? See, broken or not broken? Singleton behavior is broken or not broken? Broken. Singleton behavior is broken because it uses reflection API to create the object. It uses reflection API to create the object. It simply uses reflection API to create the object, boss. Yes, boss. Tell me. In application context dot XML. Yeah, though you give same bean ID. Okay, in application context dot XML. Say paste. In client application. Where is this? In client application. In client application. Copy these guys. Say paste. In client application. Copy these guys. Say paste. Okay, here is my output boss. Here is my output. Here is my output. Application context.xml is pasted now, boss. Come on, guys. Okay, oh, wrong is pasted. Fine. Application context.xml. This one. Okay, I think everyone knows printer is a predefined user-defined singleton class. Right. Tell me answer. The singleton behavior will be broken. Behavior will be broken if we take the singleton behavior will be broken. Yeah, tell me. If we configure Spring Bean, if we configure Spring Bean without enabling factory method bean instance. Factory method, people are not focusing. People are saying, show me output for more time. That means they are not focusing. Tanmay Das, what you are doing without seeing the output? Okay. Without enabling factory method bean instantiation. Focus, my dear. Yeah, here is the output. Two different hash codes are coming now. Gives two different hash codes, right? After pasting output on the screen, also people say, show me output again. That shows how funny they are. Okay. Gives true, gives false. Yeah, sir, I want next output. When after executing, I can give output now, boss. Okay, then I will. Now I enable after next one. Factory -1 method is equal to get instance. Right, boss? Injection test. Injection test. See, singleton is continued or not. Though prototype scope, only one object is created. Though prototype scope, only one object is created. That means singleton behavior is continued or not. That means the singleton behavior is continued or not. Say something, my dear. Definitely the singleton behavior is continued. Yeah, this is case 1. Case 2. Yeah. What I did in XML file, I caught donkey there. I really caught the donkey there, Biswajit. In front of you, I opened and typed, and now you are asking what you did in XML file. Play with the mobile, Ra. Play with the mobile. You will become expert in Spring. Shameless fellow. Okay. I enabled factory method being in instantiation or not? I enabled factory method being in instantiation or not? Come on. Array in factory method being instantiation condition is there now. Object is already there. Don't create. Are you understanding my statement? Very simple, Ra. Scope is singleton or prototype. The singleton behavior will be continued if we enable factory method being instantiation. Otherwise, will not be continued. Otherwise, will not be continued. Right, boss? The singleton behavior will be continued. Will be continued. Understanding same as this, but what is interesting is though prototype scope singleton behavior is coming, will be continued if we enable factory method being in instantiation. Factory method being in instantiation. First, if we enable factory method being in instantiation for Spring Clean. For IOC container on Spring Clean. For IOC container on Spring. Cool, guys. Copy this in application context.x. Super. In application context.x. In client application. What is there? In client application. Here is our client application. For morning, today morning for some students, out of capacity error might have come. Those who are trying to attend morning classes, for some student, it might have shown out of capacity error. Yeah. It's that batch is open for outsiders, for morning students, and for you people, evening batch student. But the meeting capacity is just 500, boss. I think tomorrow they are planning to extend to 1,000 member capacity, boss. They're planning to extend to 1,000 member capacity. Happily you can join from tomorrow. Right? Yeah, microservices, no, definitely people will be crazed, no doubt. And that too, I give elaborated discussions on microservices. All right, boss. Okay, what is this? Gives the same hash code. Yeah. Gives true. Gives the same hash code, gives it. Right. Okay, guys. Note the singleton scope for the singleton Java class. The singleton scope for singleton Java class. Okay, will be continued. Okay. In IOC container, only when we enable factory method being instantiation. Spring bean instantiation. Spring bean instantiation. Understanding my statement, guys? Yeah, everyone need not to come for morning session, guys. In the evening also that will happen, right? If you enable factory method, spring bean instantiation. Factory method, spring bean instantiation. Irrespective of the scope of the spring bean scope. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Super. Okay. Now listen carefully, guys. One important FAQ. If the prototype scope spring bean is dependent to singleton scope spring bean bean. Can you tell me can you tell me what happens at the time of spring bean pre-instantiation? What happens at the time of spring bean pre-instantiation? Okay. What happens at the time of spring bean pre-instantiation? Are you understanding my statement, guys? Instantiation by IOC container. By IOC container. By IOC container. To make this one to feel, guys, I will try to take strategy using spring is there now. Are very simple, Ram. As part of pre-instantiation, not only target class object will be created, okay, even dependent class object will be created and will be injected. But dependent spring bean class object will not be placed in the internal cache, but target spring bean class object will be placed in the internal cache. Target spring bean class object will be placed in the internal cache. It does not mean, okay, dependent spring bean scope is changed to singleton. It's only temporary adjustment. Understanding my statement? It's something like this, guys. Something like this. You are not rich, but you want to become rich. What you will do? You will marry a rich girl or you will marry a rich boy. Understanding my point? The same thing here. Your scope does not support pre-instantiation, but you want to enjoy the pre-instantiation. Try to become dependent to singleton scope spring bean. Try to become dependent to singleton scope spring bean, right? Try to become dependent to singleton scope spring bean. In 7 a.m. notes also this point is there. I covered pre-instantiation separately, Sumit MCA. Nice. Fellows. People attend multiple batches now. They say, sir, this question is not covered in my 7 a.m. And in 7 a.m. I covered exclusively in as part of pre-instantiation. Here someone asked, that's why I'm taking the point here. Right, boss? If you compare line by line, I'm helpless, Babu. People who are attending multiple batches, please stop comparing line by line. I'm not a faculty who mugs up and delivers the subject. Someone who's attend morning class, they are saying in morning batch notes, this point is not there. You will die if you start comparing like that. Okay, guys. Tell me here. Here is singleton. Here is singleton. Right, boss? Here is singleton. Done. Application context.xml. Here is my prototype. Here is my prototype. Dependent is prototype. Look at wish message generator. It is dependent na boss. Is it not dependent? Is it not dependent? Here is my prototype. Got it? Okay. Now you observe. Now you observe, guys. Let's start. Injection test.java. Injection test.java. Same hash code for this. Same hash code for this. Come on. Same hash code for this. Same hash code for this. Come on, guys. Tell me, if you try to print the injected, if you try to print the injector local date and time, you try to print the injected local date and time, guys. Local date time dot space date time dot get class hash code date time dot hash code injection test dot java injection test dot java. Oh, business method is not called. Oh, how to fill the business method, boss? Where is business method? Okay, let me show the business method. Yeah, generator one. Injection test. What is coming? 641. You call second time. String result one is equal to generator one 2 dot show wish message Ramesh. Show wish message Ramesh. Result one here. Result two here. Right, boss? Okay. This is result here. Result one. Injection test. Super guys. Same object na? Why same object? Can you guess? Sir, prototype scope now that what is giving same object. Why? Array, when target is one, in one object, how many dependents will be injected? Only one object. In one object, why two objects will be injected? Use common sense. Use common sense. But it does not mean. Okay. No, it won't change the scope of the single local date and time. It won't change the scope of the. It will not change the scope of the. Listen. It will not change the scope of the local date time. Still prototype. But the thing is, how many targets are there? You have one. For one target, how many dependents are required? One. That's why it looks like only one object is injected. But you try to call. You try to call freshly this one, Rababu. You try to call this one freshly. Happily, more objects will be created and you will get different objects. Okay. Injection test.java. Injection test.java. 4.5. One minute. Let me run it. Let me run it. Here different object. Here different object. Are you noticing it, guys? DT1, DT2 pointing to same. DT1, DT2 pointing to same, boss? No. False is coming or not? Yeah, here don't worry. Here numbers are different. Arey, DT1, DT2 pointing to false. False is coming, but hash codes are same name. How come hash codes are same? Very interesting. Hash code is same. I will tell. I will tell. I will tell. No, before. No, here also different should come, Rama. Here also different should come. DT1 dot hash code, DT2 dot hash code, DT1 pointing to DT2. DT1 pointing to DT2. Okay. Injection test dot jam. Injection test dot jam. No, though I give same name, I should get different objects now, boss. Okay. Prototype scope is equal to factory method is there, but still two different objects should come now. Two different objects should come now, boss. But interesting thing is it is returning. No. Interesting thing is it is returning false. It is returning false. No, listen. Though it is showing same number, it returning false, right? It is returning false. Okay, fine. So don't worry about that. Numbers you don't worry, but it is returning false or not. It is returning false or not. It is returning false or not. That means what, guys? It is continuing its prototype scope or not? Does it continuing its prototype scope or not? Come on. Does it continuing its prototype scope or not? That is the specialty of this prototype scope. Now, though you give same bean ID, for every factory dot get bean separate object will come or not. For every factory dot bean separate spring bean class object will come. Yes or no? Na? Hash code is giving negative numbers. Don't worry about that. Hash code is giving some negative numbers. Don't worry about that. Okay. So go by this false. There is some negative numbers are coming. Don't worry. Go by this. Why are two different objects? No, Utkal China. Where is your brain, muddy fellow? What is the scope? Prototype scope, right? Then what happened? For every time factory dot get pin separate object is created or not created? For every factory dot get pin separate object is created, right? Okay. It is don't go by this hash code. Some negative number is coming. Don't go by hash code. Some negative number is coming. Don't trust that. Go by this. Namrata Dev, I'll murder you. Local. This is what? Local data time. How can I call get instance? Do you have any common sense? Get instance is there in which class? Printer class. Keep your brain in the classroom, madam. Okay. Right. Teja key double equal to is there for what purpose, guys? Right. Don't trust this hash code. This is not the real original hash code. Come on. This is not real hash code. Somehow it is giving wrong hash code. This go by this. Go by this. Go by this. Come on. This is not a correct hash code. Negative number is not correct hash code. Don't trust that. Equals is for the content comparison. Double equal to is for reference checking. Right. Okay, boss. Yeah, what is the answer I should give, guys? What is the answer I should give? The singleton scope. What is that? The prototype scope dependent spring bean class object. The prototype scopes dependent spring bean class object will be created along with the singleton scope spring bean class object as part of singleton scope spring beans pre-instantiation to support uh, injection to support and complete. Come on, Usha Patil, right now in this discussion, no. Okay, to support and complete. What is that? Dependency injection on target singleton scope spring bean. Understanding my statement, guys? Target singleton scope spring bean class. But it does not mean, tell me, the dependent spring bean scope is changed to proton. Changed to proton. Still continues. Still, what is that? Still, prototype scope will be continued for dependent to spring. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Continued for dependent spring bean. Okay. Only to support that. Subham Kumar, I will murder you. I will murder you. Right now, local date time is the dependent. Wish message generator is the target. Where is get in stance method, Ra? Where is get in stance method, my dear? Subha Kumar, are you in the classroom or somewhere in your own zone? Feel shame for that? In local daytime class. Where is printer now? What is printer now? Is there any work with the printer in this example? In target and dependent class, is there any role of printer now? Feel shame, Ra, for your listening capabilities. Right now, I'm talking about what? Target local daytime class, dependent printer class. Dependent printer class. Getting my point? Please stop thinking about that. It is not changed. It looks like dependent scope is changed. Still dependent class scope is not changed to singleton scope. Array. Mr. Vishnuvardhan, are you in the classroom? If prototype spring bean is dependent to singleton scope spring bean, can you tell me what happens at the time of spring bean pre-instantiation by IOC container? Tell me. Still prototype scope will be continued for dependent spring bean class. Is there any wrong in this statement? Vishnuvardhan, Maddi fellow. But it does not mean dependent spring bean scope is changed to. Okay, this year correction is required. Change it to singleton. Here right. Here you are right. Right. In the bracket, it's right. In the bracket, it's correct, right? Which message generator, guys? Which message generator, guys? Here is my application context.xml was. Please, I have not configured any singleton class here. 60,000. Application context.x. Okay, guys. Application context.x. Client application. Client application. Client application. Internal, it's dependent object will not be placed in IOC container. Prototype scope beans will not be placed in IOC container. Okay, but dependent Spring Bean class object will be created as part of pre-instantiation, though its a scope is prototype, only to support injection on what? Singleton scope of Spring Bean, which is going to participate in pre-instantiation. It's something like this, guys. Something like this. Your friend invited to a party. He is a alcoholic person. He takes alcohol. You attended party for your friend. There you are not going to take alcohol. You will be there in the party. You will be enjoying the party, but you are not going to touch the alcohol. Okay, here also same thing. Since you have attended alcohol party, it does not mean you have taken alcohol, right? Are you understanding my statement? Dependent Spring Bean class object will not be kept in any scope. I'll talk more on this in tomorrow's session. Thank you guys. Have a nice time.